welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that's a little thirsty and corny. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 39, Battle for a New Champion, Reunion Part 2. This is it. This is legit the final episode of The Challenge 39. Oh man, I didn't think we would ever get to this point, but it's finally happened. And we're gonna start off right where last episode left off, where we have Asaf and Kyland going head to head when security guards are coming in and they are easily separated. They each take their seats. We get to a point where Laurel calls Asaf soft and thirsty and corny. Luckily, that is one of the last times we will hear Asaf during this reunion. We move over to James's betrayal to Zara when he decided to choose Nurys over Zara in the Conquest selection phase. Now, James does apologize rather quickly, but Zara says, well, you're apologizing in front of everybody. You didn't even message me within 6 months since we were done with the show. And James said that, well, he lost his integrity that day and he was a little embarrassed, and that's why he hadn't reached out to Zara to apologize, but he did apologize, and Zara forgave James and said that she never really blocked him on Instagram. We move back over to Corey, where we dredge up the Corey deliberation speech where he says that he was using Big T and Melissa for information and only information to take it back to his big alliance. Well, Corey clears things up, saying that he never really intended to use Big T or Melissa. He was just getting desperate at that point. His alliance was throwing him under the bus, feeling like he was shady. He made a decision to say that he was only using Big T and Melissa, that they were never really friends in the first place. And Melissa gets emotional at this point, saying, well, we were really close at that point, I felt, and you saying that you were only using us for information really hurt. And you might remember at the beginning of Reunion Part 1 that Maria teased that Berna left a video clip. Well, we finally get that Berna message where she says that she feels used by Kyland, that they were very close within the game, but since the season has wrapped up, Kyland has not bothered to pick up the phone calls from Berna or even answer some messages that Berna has sent Kyland's way. And Kyland says, well, we were close in the house, but it's not like we're best friends. And who's got time to pick up the phone? You know, who's got time to pick up the phone or write a message back? Raven is frustrated because she had friendships with all these people, yet everybody that she thought she was coming in with a friendship with or played with, like Michelle, Olivia, and Mariah, they were all taking Berna's side, and with Berna vouching for Kyland, they were putting Berna and Kyland over Raven. And then Michelle feels like Kyland was using Berna as well. Things are not looking good for Kyland or Jay at this point, because the next full segment was the Jay and Nurys falling out. And this is where Jay is just not taking as much accountability in this portion. He pretty much blamed Michelle getting purged from the game, and then Berna and Kyland coming to him, talking about the all-women's alliance and saying all this information about Nurys and how she's not working with Jay, doesn't have Jay's best interest at heart, was turning on him. And Nurys said it's only because she started dating Horacio that Jay was turning on her, as well as getting emotional, being like, I've known you for 5 years, and you're over here taking the advice and information from Berna and Kyland instead of coming and talking to me, somebody you've known for 5 years. And then Jay snaps back, being like, yeah, well, in those 5 years, how many times have we hung out? Jay, at some point, takes accountability, does apologize for everything that happened over the course of the season. Nurys ends it saying that she doesn't really trust Jay and doesn't really want a friendship with him. Like I said, Kyland and Jay are going to be in really terrible positions if they come back for later seasons or future seasons of the challenge. I feel like Kyland and Jay will be the first targets if they were to come back for future seasons. Now we go through a couple more of these chaos fan questions, one of which was very interesting, where somebody asked Tori who was the female goat of the challenge. And Tori picks Laurel. She does say that Cara is up there, but the way Laurel plays is like on another level. And Cara says that she agrees with Tori, saying that Laurel does play a really great game. You can throw anything at her and she can do it and complete it, which I thought was a very nice moment. One, Laurel getting some props via 2 challenge champions, as well as Cara and Tori agreeing on something. Now the reunion comes back from commercial break and we get the spiciest segments of the challenge reunion. They talk about all the relationships that happen over the course of the season. Now we do find out in this portion that Callum did mention he had a relationship back home. He just phrased it that he was seeing a girl for 3 weeks. What Michelle took offense to was that they were saying I love you to each other. And the way that Callum was moving through the relationship, breaking down her barriers at every single step, knowing good and well that once the season had wrapped, there was no way that this relationship was going to work between her and Callum. Callum gets called out a couple more times. Michelle gets emotional during this point. Rightfully so. Now, Callum does try to deflect at one point, but at the end of all of this, he does sit down and apologize to both Michelle and his girlfriend. He too gets emotional. He apologizes for the disrespect that he showed both of them. Now, Melissa drops some very juicy nuggets during this portion. They talk about that night when she tries to kiss Kyland in the club in front of everybody and everybody's chanting kiss, 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 and Kyland doesn't want to do it in front of everybody. Melissa was more confused than anything because they had already kissed prior to that moment. They did it in a hotel before the season began, and so she was confused why Kyland wouldn't kiss her at that moment when they had already kissed before. Something else that we got confirmed was when Maria Menounos asked if any other kissing in any other hotels happened, and Melissa instantly points to Olivia, and the cat is let out of the bag that Olivia and Jay had kissed. Not in a hotel, but on the bus coming back from the bar scene. And there's no cameras on the bus, and you kind of can hide behind the seats and everything. Now, Jay is employing the deny, deny, deny strategy, that if he just denies it enough times, it didn't happen. But then there's so many witnesses that are calling it out. And the only reason Jay is denying it so much is because he had a girlfriend when he was coming on to do this season. Even when Olivia says, yes, this happened, we did make out, we kissed on the bus, Jay still is trying to play it off like, well, we're going to figure this out later. Speaking of having somebody back home, we have to talk about the Mariah and Bananas situation with James and everything. Mariah states that she felt bad for hurting and embarrassing Bananas by how this whole thing was presented on the challenge and what happened on the challenge. Claims that when Bananas was off filming what I suspect is House of Villains, he was trying to play it off like, oh, these girls liked me, but I didn't do anything. And then come to find out later that Mariah's family members watched House of Villains and told her that Bananas was having showmances on that season, as well as sucking toes on that show. And then we get some very interesting news. Now, there was a rumor going around that Bananas was supposed to be one of the champion mercenaries to be featured on this season. But once the cast photos were revealed, Bananas was nowhere to be seen. Then the rumors of Mariah hanging out with James within the house really started to flood the rumor mill that Bananas found out, didn't want to be featured on the show, and so he pulled out. There was a lot of air around this rumor to the point where Bananas did an interview saying, I was never called to be on the Challenge 39. I don't know where this rumor came from, but I was never called, I was never contacted. All for this segment to come in where Mariah says that she thought Bananas was going to be on this season because Bananas was playing Fortnite with her cousin and sister and said that, yeah, I'm going to go onto the show. And then the Champions Lounge or the Champions area also say that, quote, he was 100% supposed to show up. There's a lot of speculation that it was because of the whole Mariah and James thing. Devin tries to slide in there like, oh yeah, he also hurt his ankle. My thought is that the challenge is finally kind of showing Bananas a little bit more instead of kind of protecting his image at this point, because he did leave them in a sort of predicament by pulling out at the last minute when they thought that he was going to be coming in to be on this season, and then they had to ship Brad out here to be on the show. So that's super, super interesting. I thought that this was the most interesting portion of the reunion, both part 1 and part 2, and most of the season. Something else that was very interesting is that we do have a video clip of Emanuel helping Berna with soap in the bathroom. And then Maria Menounos and the show was thinking it was funny that Michelle had no idea that the mics could still pick up even if there's no cameras around. So there was a scene that Michelle thought that they were going to show where it was Michelle and Callum in the hot tub, and she thought that they were going to show some of that footage. She didn't want to see it. She was about to walk off, and then they were like, no, it's just a confessional. Don't worry about it. So they show nothing, and she almost walks off. They were showing that in all of the promos to make it seem like it was going to get heightened and dramatic, and somebody's walking off. No, that didn't happen at all. Some funny stuff happens during the break because we get this one portion of Tori saying that she'll put a clown emoji over on Cara's face. Like, I guess if they were to do another season and then cast reveal photos, because she did that on Amanda for USA 2 cast reveal, retweeted the picture, but you putting a clown emoji on Amanda's face. And that led to some crazy stuff on social media between Amanda and Tori. But Cara tells Tori, you can do whatever you want because I won't see it because I have you blocked. And that leads to a champion portion where Maria hears that Cara has Tori blocked and even asks Tori, why do you think Cara has you blocked? And Tori says that Cara has me blocked because she wants to keep the rivalry between us alive, and says that she secretly thinks that Cara wants to work with her and be paired up with her for a rival season down the line. Cara says, I would rather settle it in a ring where we can wrestle each other. I want some pyrotechnics. Laurel steps up and talks about her feelings about the situation between Tori and Cara, that maybe there's a little bit of jealousy happening between Cara and Tori, where while Cara was away, Tori rose through the ranks, became a challenge champion, made it to a whole bunch of finals. Cara denies that. Then Darrell says that Cara was the face of the challenge, but in her hiatus portion, Tori took her spot. Cara seems vividly livid, like angry to hear Darrell say that, and even says, you're my new rival. Joking, I know, but there was a split second I felt like there was a look that Cara gave Darrell when he said that. There was some real like, oh my gosh, what are you saying? Like that, I felt that between that exchange. Speaking of Laurel, there's one part where Maria's asking Laurel if she wanted to go up against anybody but Michelle when she came in to be a mercenary for the Challenge 39. Laurel said that she had no bones to pick with anybody except for Red Dress, and that she wanted to face off against Red Dress, aka Michelle. Michelle tries to say like, oh, I gave you the idea for that joke, so I'm stripping you of credit. And Laurel says, you can't strip me of anything, Nicole. And then catches herself and says, Michelle. It was really funny to see Laurel and her reaction for accidentally calling Michelle Nicole. Also, Mariah says that Nicole sucks. So that's super funny. We get to a Conquest portion where in the Conquest portion of this reunion, Maria Menounos will give somebody 2 people and they have to either save them or purge them. Very interesting that Jay would save Asaf over Michelle. Corey said that he would save Big T over Melissa. Laurel would save Michelle over Callum, and Olivia would save Nurys over Horacio. I'm not very shocked about any of those except for the Jay, Asaf, and Michelle one. I feel like that one was the most interesting pairing. The final little segment that they put at the very end of this reunion is a chance for somebody, one person, to win $2,500 in this segment that they call Chugga Chugga Choo Choo. What? But they have to drink the tuna beet smoothie, they called it. They didn't say it was a tuna beet mayo juice that they showed at the final. I think that they doctored this thing up, but anybody could have stepped up and tried to win this $2,500. The people to step up and want to try to win this money was Colleen, Emanuel, Asaf, Ed, Corey, Big T, Laurel, Cara, Darrell, and Zara. Very interesting that 3 out of the 5 champions would drink this tuna beet smoothie. Devin opted out, and Tori, of course, she's vegan. She wouldn't have drank. She would have made Devin drink hers. Emanuel wins! Adding to his $250,000 grand prize money, he's also taking home $2,500. But that is it for the challenge season 39. Not just the reunion, but everything for the Challenge 39. We covered 22 episodes and we have wrapped up another season of the challenge. I know that this challenge season has been a whirlwind. It's been frustrating for a lot of people. It's been annoying for some people to have watched this season, but I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who watched my videos, whether this was your first one or if you've been here since the very beginning when I was reviewing Final Reckoning, or if you found me somewhere in between. I just want to say thank you for sticking with me through this journey, through season 39. I know it wasn't the most exciting, it wasn't the most thrilling, sometimes it felt like a chore, but sometimes it was fun. And I just have to say that everybody who is watching this video gave me inspiration to keep on going, to make these videos as good as I possibly could, and reading and replying to messages in the comment sections really kept my tenacity for doing review and recaps and videos and everything going strong. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who is watching this video right now. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I also want to say a huge shout out thank you to everybody who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All Stars 4 is on the horizon as it is premiering on April 10th. Now, I know that we're going to have a small break from the challenge between now and when All Stars 4 premieres. I have to say, though, I have a ton of projects that I'll be working on and publishing over here on the YouTube channel as well as over on patreon.com/angelcakevids. So if you would like to support me as well as get even more content from me than just what I'm going to be publishing over here on youtube.com/angelcakevids, please check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/angelcakevids. But now I turn it over to you. What'd you think about this season overall? What'd you think about this reunion overall? What was your favorite segment? What was your favorite part of this season? Also, what would you like to see be the theme for season 40, as well as who would you like to see on season 40, the momentous season 40? Thank you so much again for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace. It's over. This is it. We're done. Let's go. It is over. Goodbye 39. Hello All Stars 4. That's where we're at right now. Oh my gosh. 20 weeks. It's over. All right, let's do this thing.